let's be real here. You weren't actually upset, and so you thought about it again. The moment already passed, and nothing happened. They said something normal, and you even responded like everything was fine, because it was. But now you're alone and you're replaying it, and suddenly it doesn't feel good anymore. It feels off. And now something about them doesn't sit right with you. See, this is where it actually starts, right? Not in the moment, right after. You're in the conversation and everything feels normal. You're talking, they're talking, you leave, fine. Nothing stands out. But then later, you replay one part of it, not the whole conversation, just one line. And it doesn't hit the same anymore. You hear it again, but slower this time. Like you're trying to catch something you didn't notice before. And now your brain leans in. Wait a minute. Am I tripping? And you almost let it go. Almost. But something about it sticks. And you replay it again. But this time you hear it differently. Not because it changed, because you're listening for something now. Same thing with texting. You open it and you read it once. Everything fine. But then you pull it up again. You stare at it a little longer. Now you're reading in between the words, in between lines. And now you're assuming a tone that isn't even there. You read it again, but this time in your head, you change the delivery. Now it sounds different. Now it feels different. And now it means something. You check the punctuation. No exclamation mark? What does that mean? You look at it again. Wait, there is an exclamation mark. What does that mean? Now everything feels intentional because now it feels like everything has changed, even though it's only on your side. And here's where it really gets dangerous. Now you're not just reading it anymore. You're reading into it. You go back to look at what they said earlier that day, that week, shit, even that month, trying to find the exact moment where it changed. And because you don't say anything, you don't ask, well, I mean, what did you mean by that? You don't clarify, you don't check, you just adjust. The next message gets a little bit shorter, a little less energy, a little less you. You reread it, you retype it, you delete parts of it, because now you're being careful. In person, shit, you're even quieter. You might as well not even be there. They say something, and you respond short and abrupt. You're still there, but not in the same way that you were before. See, because now you're watching them. You're not just listening, you're watching, looking for something to match the energy that you've already been feeling. And the craziest part is if someone was to ask you, hey, what changed with the two of you? You wouldn't be able to give a clean answer because nothing happened. Oh, but something did shift. It just didn't happen out loud. I'm going to hold your hand as I say this to you. It didn't change. Your version of it did. And you didn't even see it. And you didn't even see yourself do it. And that's the problem. It didn't feel like a decision. It felt like something you caught. But did you actually catch anything? Or did you add something to it and run? And once that happens, you cannot unsee it. So now, when you replay that moment, it feels like an obvious truth. Like it was there the whole time. But it wasn't. You added it in after. Your brain took something neutral and filled it in. And here is what makes it dangerous. It doesn't feel like a thought that has the ability to be misconstrued. It feels like clarity. So you trust it on sight. immediately. You don't stop, you don't question it, you don't check it, you build on it. And of course, we're not saying anything out loud, right? It's all in our head and it's already started. That was weird. And you don't even question it, you just follow it. Wait, what was that? Where did that come from? And now, before you even realize what's going on, you're in it. And you keep building off of it. Well, that felt off. And if that felt off, then there's probably a reason. And if there's a reason, then what was it? Was it intentional? I mean, side note, no, but it felt like it was. And if it felt like it was, then it probably was. And then if it was, then why would they do that? And if they did it on purpose, what does that say about how they feel? And if that's how they feel, what does that mean for me? And now it's just not a moment anymore. Now it's a pattern. Now it's not just something that they said. Now it's who they are. Now it's not just a thought. It's a meaning to something. I wouldn't say it like that, so why would they? That can't be random. That meant something. And at this point, you're not even asking anymore, right? You're just proving. Everything starts adding up. And now, when you replay it in your head, you hear it differently. Now, when they text you again, you read it differently. Now, when they pause, it feels loaded. Now, when they respond, you are watching for confirmation. And if anything even slightly matches what you already felt, that's it. See, I knew it. And it all feels real, not made up. This is not imagined, real. And that's why this is as dangerous as it is. Because you don't question something that feels real, you just move like it is. And if you, my friend, do not catch it there, you're already reacting to something that isn't real. So the only place to stop it is right there in that very first thought. Right when it shows up, that was weird. That's where you need to interrupt it and ask yourself, what do I know in this moment right now? Not what it felt like, not what it reminded you of, not what it could mean. What do I actually know? What do you actually know? And most of the time, it's almost nothing. Everything else, you added. And in that space, that's where everything changes. Because that's the moment, right? That is the moment where you either let that thought run wild and wreak havoc for the next 48 hours, or you check it. And if you don't, it doesn't just stay a thought, it becomes your truth. And now you're moving completely differently off of something that you never actually confirmed. You pull back, you get quieter, you say things a little bit more carefully, and they really don't understand why, but they feel it. So obviously they adjust. And now you feel that adjustment, and that's all the confirmation you needed, right? But in that moment, the only thing that you're reacting to is their response to you, not what actually started all of this. And if you don't catch it there, you'll build something that feels real out of something that never actually was. And you'll move. You'll move like it's true. And that is how something small turns into distance. Not because of what happened, but because of what you decided it meant. Truth be told, you don't lose people in big moments. You lose them in the quiet ones where you never stop to check if what you felt was even real.